Good day, people. Welcome to the second Streamerbot podcast. Our guest today, I'm going to bring him straight in because he's very excited, is a wonderful friend of mine, and I probably wouldn't be where I am today without him. It is the wonderful Mr. Andilippi. See if he. No, I messed up. Let's press the right button.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
There you go. No, we're fine. We're fine. This is why you
Are
don't
you
do
all
tech
right?
stuff on stream.
God. You nearly had me. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Blaming me for everything. You always blame me for everything, and I've done nothing but help you on this journey to be a content creator.
I know. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have found Bongo, and isn't that the greatest gift anyone could ever give?
I mean, that's one way of putting it, mate. That is one way of putting it. No, he's dreadful.
How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Just just been ripping you, warming you up, and making you nervous for your own podcast.
I know. I think anyone
Good job
knows.
it's not like under 18s and stuff like that, because I think you would have chucked me out a long time ago. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I think anyone who knows me knows I get a little pre-stream jitters, and I always have
Jitters.
done.
You were sat there going like, "Is it Hey up, Andy, mate? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm very excited too." That's why Bongo was episode 1.
I know. Hey, Bongo will not like the line. We'll know if this works now. If Band is better or worse, we'll know if this works.
So, a quick question: how have you been finding podcasting?
I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the Bongo one.
Yeah,
As I said to you before, I was really looking forward to this one.
you were.
I were, yeah. Then I got into a call. I'm like, no.
Undo. Can I reschedule? Sorry, I'm washing my hair. Like you just are waiting for the excuses.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's something new. It's something different, and I think I'm really looking forward to it, especially this one. I mean, when you said you wanted to be on it, I was like a little cheer inside. Because,
Did you do a little happy dance?
well, I didn't dance.
Oh, well, why not?
I might have done a tiny shuffle, but it weren't a dance. We're from Yorkshire. We don't dance.
Do it for Yorkshire.
It's that small in it. That snap, step, snap, snap, step,
Yeah.
step. That's how we dance.
We don't move a lot. We're always drunk. So yeah, probably for best.
We always do that thing as well. Once we've had a few drinks, we lean against like the bar, watching the dance floor, going, "I could do that." And then you take a step and you go, "Nope, nope, no, I can't."
I can't even walk in a straight line. No. So true. So true.
So for those who missed the Bongo podcast or don't know what's going off, we're going to ask Andy a lot of questions regarding his streaming journey, Streamerbot, things he's built, things he's seen built, and a little bit of the future for Streamerbot. I'm going to get his opinion on things.
Oh dear.
So if you ever get any questions, do pop them in chat. And if you watch on YouTube, these are live streamed on Twitch at twitch.tv/Terrier Darts. I got that right this week. I messed it up last podcast. Oh,
Did you
God.
forget your name, mate?
Oh no, I almost said Twitter. And I'm like, yeah, you can come watch me live on Twitter. Like,
yeah, we'll have a great time.
no one else will be there because I'll be on Twitch, but
It's all good. It's all good. It's all them jitters that you've got, mate.
I know.
You'll lose them. You'll become confident.
So we spoke before because I asked Bongo how do you get into streaming, and we spoke about this, and I said I want a better answer from you. So we talked about certain milestones in your journey.
Yeah.
So the first one really is your first few streams. Like, what was the first Andilippi stream, and why did you do it?
I feel like I'm getting outed now. Mind
I
you, I
know.
feel like Twitter, you've got me doing it now. I feel like Twitch actually outs you all the time anyway. Because like when you raid someone and then they shout you out and use like a widget or something to do pull a clip up, it pulls clips from what looks like 1999, and like everyone's like, what even is this streamer right now? Like it's not as bad as like just doing a no overlay situation, but like I'd just be doing stuff like, what even is this? Like what am I watching? And my first ever stream was, in fact, no, the first ever one was when my brother came around my house and we were just streaming straight from console because I thought it'd be a great laugh because we were a bit. We'd had a couple of bevies, we'd had a kebab and whatnot, and it were amazing. You know how it is when you boys are going, and we were playing Dead by Daylight, which I'd never played before, and it was pitch black. And I just remember there's a clip. I think it's probably my most watched clip still to this day, and I honestly shit myself so hard because I don't like horror, I don't like anything, I don't watch scary films, don't do anything like that. And you could just see because I was using my Kinect as a camera that it basically just lit up the entire room because it was like a flash of light on the screen, and I was just going like absolutely losing it. And then somebody went, "You need to stream, mate." So then that was it.
So that's kind of how you got into streaming.
Yeah.
You just thought someone said, "Oh, you should do it," and you thought, "Fuck it, I might as well. Just let's keep
Yeah,
going."
let's do it.
And I think that's kind of how a lot of people. I think Bongo mentioned he started on console as well. On it, and it is, and I think I said my first streams were on console,
Mm.
which is weird that everybody sort of starts there. A lot of people seem to start there on console.
It's because it's so accessible, isn't it? Like, because
Yeah,
if you're playing games, it's already there. It's already built into it. So all you gotta do is just press go live, and then
yeah.
obviously nobody's probably gonna watch you. But if you have a good laugh, get a couple of mates in to watch you. That's it. It's a good laugh, isn't it?
Like I said, I think like with PlayStation, you're just pressing that share button, isn't it? It's one button, couple of clicks, boom, live. Before you know it, you're
Yeah.
live.
I will have to find you that clip because you'll love it.
Yeah, we'll get it posted. So
And
you'd
then
be
the second stream, actually, just to throw one in. No, it might have been third one. It was a late night stream. My missus had gone out, and that was when I was on PC. So it was like my second proper stream with a PC, if that makes sense. If that makes any sense, I don't know. And I literally just did a little Trump, and it came out as something else. Literally on stream, and I genuinely did a little poop on stream. Second stream.
that only you could do that.
Well, I'd had a dodgy takeaway the night before, so it yeah, it got to me a little bit.
Oh god. So you were streaming, and then at some point you've decided I want to take it a bit more interactive, and you found Leo on board, or was Leo on board one at that time. How did you find Leo on board? Because I'm assuming you didn't find it the same way I did.
Well, I found a guy on the internet called Andilippi. He like did some really good tutorials that helped me just like learn a little bit.
See, that's
Nah,
my answer.
so
That's my answer. You can't use that.
just copy and paste it. Copy and paste it out of the script. It's sorted. Um, so well, I kind of started doing YouTube tutorials for myself because I was like learning. Like I don't, you probably won't know this, but there was a different move plugin in OBS before Move Transition that was shit. Like that's the only word to describe how bad it was. Like it was like it did what it did, but all it basically was doing is you were resizing something and you could just move it a little bit. So it was like resizing points. There weren't any of the features that Excel Dro's put in or anything like that. It wasn't anything cool. And that I started doing videos around that because I was like, there's so many different things I could do with this tiny piece of software. Bearing in mind, there was absolutely nothing you could do with that piece of software. So, but my mind was absolutely blown that I could do that. So I started doing all these tutorials to try and remember myself, and then I started going on a journey on, oh, maybe I can get like somebody to do commands to do it, because I actually started then moving over to Mixer, because I was playing on Mixer for a while, and like they had so many interactive elements that was just like mind blowing, and I started like building, uh, basically running my PC as an emulator, and people could control it over like buttons and stuff like that, which was crazy. And then obviously as Mixer was kind of getting towards the end, because I took a big break, moved back to Twitch. I was like, I missed that. I missed that interactivity. How do I get that going? And then I just saw I saw Leoran board on an OBS forum post. I was like, what's this? Like, nobody goes on the OBS forums, and there's loads of incredible stuff on there. Do you know what I mean? And then I just got lost, and I was like, I'll download this. It's free. And I looked at it, and I was like, what even is this? And then, but yeah, again, it was just one of the things. I then started doing little tutorials to remember what all this stuff meant, and then that led me to Excel Grow, and then I was doing Excel Grow, and I used plugins that he started making, and all that jazz, and yeah, it was a big, you know what I mean?
Maybe he's just talking a bit too loud. Could be. I mean, like I say, I think someone suggested to me in a stream that they use Leoran board, and I didn't think much of it. But then that's how I found you, because I found your tutorials, and it was like, okay, and you broke each thing down, and it was like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and for me that was easy. And for a lot of people, your tutorials give them a way in, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, especially if you're doing something. I mean, the tutorials I do, obviously, it's on software that's really advanced, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are just mind blown, especially by Streamerbot now, with how much you can do in there, and obviously just doing full on C# code, everything like that, and everyone's just like, "Yo, I can't do that," but I just try and make things approachable. Like,
Yeah,
because, like, well, you know, you're not a programmer. I'm not a programmer, but anybody can do anything if they can get taught in a way that makes sense to them. If
yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely sense. It's like everybody has their own way of learning, and being able to see what you were doing, take what you were doing, and edit it to what I want to do, was how I was able to learn everything I learned. And I even when I use Leoran board, I built some really good stuff in Leoran board that I was happy with.
You're doing like Connect 4, right? Because I
I
started
got
doing that. And I was
I
just
got
like,
I
I
got
can't
I got,
bother,
I got Connect 4 working, then it broke, and then
obviously.
it was impossible to share. And before I could actually revisit it properly, I went to Streamerbot.
Mm.
But yeah, I think for me, programs like the Leoran board and Streamerbot, people look at them, and because they're not the prettiest programs, people sometimes dismiss them. But
Yeah, I think that's people's ignorance. Because we kind of spoke a little bit about the ignorance earlier before the stream, weren't we?
yeah,
Where like people just always think maybe the most viewed channel, or maybe the best looking software is the best, and that's not always the case at all. And it's just, we live in a world where everything's very consumerism based. Of, you get told what's good, you get told like you need to do this, you need to have that, and it's not necessarily right, is it? Like,
no,
I mean, look at Leon Board One. That's like, if anything, I genuinely think Leon Board One was the thing that really set off this creative journey for streamers, because it was like the first thing that started really going outside the box. Like, oh, let's just make a whole scripting language for OBS that could do anything. And then everyone's kind of built on that. And then, I don't know, every mum and the dog, dad and the dog, whatever, is making some sort of bot nowadays. Do you know what I mean? All I keep getting in my DMs recently is like, "Do you want to try my bot out?" I'm like, "I'm all right, thanks. I ain't got time." Because like everybody's making one.
I mean, there's plenty even then though. Like say everybody's making a bot, and there's plenty of good options. So like say people always say, "Oh, I think people say to you, which do you think's best?" But it's like you would do what works for you. You know, if
Exactly.
you
Like, every time I get asked that, I want to put my head through a wall in the most polite way possible. Because it's if somebody's asking you like, "Oh, which do you like?" I'm like, "No, which do you like?" Because like you're the one using it, dumbass. Like you are literally the one that's using it, not me. It's not up to me.
I mean, I
So
think
it's
that
like,
is though. You know, like I say, I would always say mix it up is a viable option. BQ bot, I've never used BQ bot, but people say it's good.
yeah,
You know, Sammy now, Streamerbot, you've got 4 options there that, depending on what you want to do, you can use any of them. It
yeah.
don't
There's even
matter.
more. There's a couple that are just web based as well, so you don't have to run a program on your computer. There's a couple that like you've got Firebot as well. Um, like there's tons. There's like little ones like Deckboard as well. That's like Stream Deck type thing. Yeah, there's tons of them, but each one does like as long as it does the stuff you want it to do.
If it
That's
meets
enough.
your
Right?
needs, yeah. If it meets your needs, yeah. So, to get slightly back on track, um, so you've started making tutorials in Leo on board. You started building stuff in Leo on board. When did the Waldo stream up idea come about?
Well, I don't know how this might sound, but I just feel like I've known Waldo all my life. Like we get on so well, like and Silver as well. But Waldo just randomly came into one of my. In fact, no, he was in the Leoran board Discord, I think, and he came across me and he was like trolling me a bit because some stuff I was saying in my videos was just not accurate, or just the ways I was explaining something was not accurate because he's obviously a clever programmer and I'm not. So I'm just this geezer like, oh yeah, you gotta do this. He's just like, what is he doing? But then turns out he's actually my friend now. Well, but like when we met, we were just sharing ideas a little bit of, oh, have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? And we would just start creating more and more things. And I was just like, oh, I tell you what, why don't we do something together? Because he showed me he created the iOS notification thing, and I was like, "What? Yes, you are definitely like the kind of guy that I can really get on with." He looks at the attention to detail, like going all the way down to oh my days, the size of the font, how rounded the corners were. Do you know what I mean? He was going into the little details to make it look perfect, and I was like, "This is someone that I can get along with." And we ended up working together because I had started creating installers for Leoran board. And please tell me you remember the old installers that I used to make for the Leoran board that basically used to run OBS commands to install all the images, resize them all, and they used to just go.
Yep. So I know people
So
who still do that.
really,
I mean, I think he uses source copy now, but I've known people write a ton of OBS raw. I mean,
bit much that, bit much.
that's
But
what
yeah,
I said. I won't call him out. I won't call him out though. He's in stream. I won't call him out. He knows who he is. He knows who he is.
But no, we partnered on that, and I built the installer for it, and that's why if you go back to the old file, it was like a really long title of Waldo and Friends and Andilippi. It was a stupid title for it. And then I was like, hey, do you fancy a call at some point? And then he was like, why? And then we just started talking, and that was it. We started talking about coming up with this idea. I was like, oh, could you just imagine like everything just being really, really easy, and like how far we take this? And believe it or not, that first call was the call where we started conceptualizing the Pokemon and Friends thing. So Pokemon and Friends was developed for quite some time before it was even like a thing, because we were just talking about it early on, which is mad. Excuse me, I'm very sorry. I've been poorly for the past 2 days, so I'm very violent.
Yeah, I think like same like StreamUp, I did a little thing when we made the extension site and all that, and that started off as something else, but that started the same thing. A Galman messaged me saying, "Do you want to do something like this where we all can work together, build programs, and do things? Because 2, 3 brains, 4 brains are better than one.
Yeah.
And if you all have that,
I would recommend, though, if I'm to give you some advice, don't get Dutch people because they're lazy.
yeah."
Because honestly, I'm still waiting. Like, I've got 3 things ready to release, and I'm just waiting for Waldo to send me the code so I can put it in it and release it. Oh, no. No.
Yeah, I think with the 5 people who were like the top 5, I know top 5 sounds awful, but like the ones who started it, there's me, there's 2 Americans, a German, and a Danish.
See,
And
that's you see. I just went all in on Netherlands. I just went all in on Netherlands, and I feel like I mean, I like it because they tell me exactly how it is. Like whenever I'm being dumb, they're just like, "Yeah, you're being dumb." Like there's no like trying to sugarcoat it or anything. But then sometimes I'm just like, "Come on, I need something."
uh, I think that's just a
Silver and Waldo.
I think that's just a Silver and Waldo thing.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, the amount of
Yeah.
times I've messaged Waldo and it's took him about 4 days to message me back. I'm thinking,
Yeah, he works on the whole like, oh, I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 working days, but then he don't work, so.
it, and it was something small like a 2, 3 word answer I wanted back. I was
Yeah,
like, oh
how do you
God,
think
Waldo.
Garfield? He was over here staying in this bed, and it was an absolute nightmare because it was just like 2 to 3 working days for him for me to get a response from him. It's like, do you want to go out? He's like, yeah.
Oh,
Like, come on, man.
I mean, we could sit in and just talk about Waldo all the time, couldn't we now? But we
I
won't.
know. I need to get myself a Waldo t-shirt.
I know. What you want is that one that Silverlink did, that Waldo and Friends one, where it's got all the cast of Friends and Waldo in
Yeah.
background. That is the best thing ever.
Honestly, some of the stuff Silver makes is incredible. He's such a little meme artist. I love him.
Like I said to him, why don't you put that on t-shirts? People would buy that. Waldo and Friends. Waldo with cast of Friends. It's brilliant.
Class. Absolute class.
Although I did it was talking about changing his name to just Waldo, and that name's already taken. So I messaged him and I sent him a picture and I said, "Why do you have this one?" And it was Waldo Lippy. And he was like, "No, no." It weren't sold on
we're
that
pretty
idea.
much the same person nowadays, aren't we? So it makes sense.
It weren't sold on that idea at all. So at this point, you're doing tutorials, you're starting StreamUp, you're releasing products, you're using Leonboard. When did you get to know about Streamerbot?
So, in all fairness, I wasn't very open arms when it came to Streamerbot, because I obviously had known Lifesaver a little while, but I'd had a lot of projects going on at once, and at this time I was still like working in my old job, and we were like in in the middle of house move as well. So we were having to like move out of our old place, and then when we got this place, we had to go and live with my brother for like 9 months. So I was in a really weird place of not having time to do anything at all, and life was just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You need to check this out, channel point handler. Yeah, it's pretty like on the lowdown and all this stuff, and I was just like, all right, cool, yeah, 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 I'll check it, and like, to be fair, I'm gonna blame Lifesaver a little bit about this because he undersold it massively when he first told me about it. He was just like, "Oh, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I wasn't wowed by the sales pitch, if that makes sense." So I was just a little bit like, "I've got a million and one things. I need to get this done, and then I'll take a look at it." Um, which makes sense, isn't it? If something's not going to catch your eye straight away, it's a bit difficult. Like when you're creating all these different things, you've got a million and one projects you need to do, and you're just like, "Oh my god, I can't add another thing to this list of stuff that I need to do." And then learn a complete new bot and everything like that. It's just going to blow me away. But then after a little while, we started talking, and he was just like, "Oh, we're actually thinking about releasing it properly. I was wondering if, yeah, yeah, I'm blaming you, Life. I'm wondering if you wanted to like partner with StreamUp and stuff, because if you remember when StreamerBot released it first, all the StreamUp products that we released all went StreamerBot only. And to be honest, I said they were going to get put back to Leon and Bud, but I never updated them to Leon and Bud until now when they're going to be available for Sammy. So they've been like streamer but only for like ever. But yeah, that was it. So it was a bit of a rough start, wasn't it? Live, I think I'd probably say that it was a little bit of a rough start with Streamerbot, but then once got there, I gave it everything.
I mean, I remember you doing that week of streaming of Streamerbot the prior to it going live, and that's when I saw people like Life, like Geo, like Nate, and I remember StreamUp going all Streamerbot products. I mean, it was an awkward time because I believe there weren't much difference between Streamerbot being released and Leo on Board 2 being released. I think
They were
they
pretty
were very
pretty
close.
close together.
So,
And obviously, me being me as well, I never want to pick favorites. But like sometimes you've kind of. This is why I hate, because I never want to downplay another piece of software at all. Like everything, like we said earlier, like if it works for you, that's all that matters, isn't it?
yeah.
And it's like now, and I know what you're gonna ask me. I know for a fact you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, which one do you prefer?" You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I like I was saying before the stream, I enjoy whenever I make a stream product now, it always starts on StreamerBot. Like it always does because I just find um working the logic and everything like that is just it makes sense now that I'm understanding C sharp.
Yeah.
But again, these obviously bits of feedback. I freaking love that Sammy now I can run a command. So as I'm editing it, I can just run it and see if it's cool, everything like that. But again, if you've got a Stream Deck, then it's fine because
Yeah.
you can just press your Stream Deck. So do you know what I mean? That just reiterates on how much like it doesn't matter what software you use as long as you enjoy it, enjoy the community, everything like that.
I mean, actually, on your stream yourself, you use both, don't you?
Yeah.
So when you're building something, what what things do you take in consideration when you say, okay, I'm going to do this on Sammy or I'm going to do this on Streamerbot?
Um, Sometimes it's just like a flip of a coin. Like sometimes it's just completely random. Like, oh, I tell you what, yeah, we'll do this in Sammy. Like I recently made them viewer commands, didn't I?
Yeah.
So I've done that in Sammy because I knew that I wouldn't have to think about because there was a couple of things in the back end that I wanted to do, and I already knew how easy I could do that in Sammy. So I was just like, well, that's just going to save me an hour thinking of how will I do that. But
Yeah.
if I already knew that in Streamerbot, then I would have probably done it in Streamerbot, if that makes sense.
It makes
So
sense.
sometimes it's just going for the easiest.
I mean, I always found the general coding side easier in Leon board. I never really touched Sammy, but because it were just blocks, wasn't it? It was this block, that block, this block, that block. Where with Streamerbot, it's typing and making sure everything's spelt right and making sure everything's got the right capital letter and all
I
that
mean,
jazz.
I always think though is like Sammy is such a good like starting point if you're wanting to understand like coding as a principle because that's what it is, right? You're just creating a lot of if statements, you're creating using variables and stuff like that, and then I mean myself and yourself like we've moved from doing that the block coding to right we're actually writing in a language now
Yeah.
just using that same logic that we were doing before. Because I mean, the first thing I ever made in the board was like the noughts and crosses game. Like that's pretty heavy for a guy to take on for his first
For the first
thing. And
project,
then
yeah.
you're like, right, I understand the logic. Let's now just learn the language to apply the logic to.
Yeah, that's what I think I said. I mentioned this last time with Bongo. Is Leon board gave me the tools to be able to work out a flow.
Yeah.
So, like when you're making something like a recipe, add eggs, add milk, blah blah blah. I knew that I could write down what I wanted my thing to do in plain English, and then take each step at a time, translating it to code. And that is generally how I code now. I write it all down in plain English. Get user variable, check this, check that, if this, do that, and then I just translate it into code one line at a time. And it's
Yeah.
the easiest way to code. But if it
It
works,
is because I find if you do it any other way and you just kind of write it, because there are a few, like for instance, I've been converting the StreamUp products, haven't I, to so they work with OBS 28 and that they're working on the most up to date StreamerBot and Sammy, everything like that. And sometimes because I'm copying the old stuff, I'm just like, yeah, cool, go 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 go, and I'm like, yeah, that don't work. So I'm like not thought about it logically. So writing stuff down, like you say, if you wrote it down in English, like what you want to do, and then you can go through and go each line by line, you're like, right, that does that. And you're not having to like then sift through code and be like, oh my god, where has this gone wrong? Because half the time with stuff in C sharp, it's gonna compile it, it's gonna look fine, but it's not the desired outcome that you want. So you like gotta go, where is this line of code that I've put something wrong? And you just got to be like, no, it's not going to work.
I say you could do something simple. Like generally, the worst mistake I make is I make a spelling mistake in the arguments. So when you do args, then the square brackets, that text you put in there, I normally make a spelling mistake in there. Now, if you do that, it's going to compile because it's just going to check for it. But
Yeah. And it
and it's
just boots off when you're checking the log. It's just like,
and I think
no.
and it says something's missing, and you're like, what's missing? That's right. That's right. That's oh wait, no, there it is.
My brain is missing.
It's like someone shared a Big Bang Theory meme of Sheldon, like, why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Getting more angry. And then it's like, oh, that's why it didn't work. And it always makes me laugh because it's like so true.
It is. It is.
Especially when you spend hours trying to code something. You're like,
It
oh,
makes you feel crazy though, doesn't it? Because you're like looking at it and you're like, oh, what? Genuinely, why does this not work? Like, this is, look, I'm telling you to do this, to do that, to do that. And I missed a T.
it's
So
worse when
cool.
you ask for help as well. Like I said, that we have the extension Discord. We have a lot of channels private where we build stuff, and I'll post something saying, "Look, I can't see why this isn't working." And Webmage or Galman will say, "Yeah, you're spelling something wrong." I'm like, "Where?" They go, "Just there." I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
Learn English before you code.
I have to go stand in corner for 5 minutes, like a naughty child.
Yeah, but hey, this is all part of learning, isn't it? It's all part of learning. It's a process.
So, so speaking of building, what are some things that you are really excited about that you've actually built in Streamerbot? I know you built a lot, so there's a lot of choice. But what's like the one or two that you like? That's one of the top tier ones for me.
Bloody hell! Hang on, I'm gonna just open Streamerbot and just lie here because there's like you know.
There's so much you built.
I know there's even stuff that I've never even announced or even shown to people and stuff like that. Well, actually, the most recent one is one that I love. It and normally my most recent project is one that I love the most. Even though this one's not as technical, and I'm sure you saw it today, Exceldro's command.
I saw him
Please
doing
tell me
it.
you saw it.
I saw him doing it. I saw the cooldown, but I didn't actually see doing it. I was in the middle of about 3 things.
It's absolutely spicy. So it looks like he's hacking into the stream. So I wanted to really use his like move transition plugin and get it to type out a bunch of code. It comes up in the black background. It just basically turns the stream completely black, and it'll just type out a ton of code using current variables as well. So like the date and time that it is, stuff like to just make it look a little bit more legit rather than it being pre-rendered video or something like that. So it is literally written out. And it'll just run a bunch of commands, and it goes on for about probably 15 seconds, something like that. Of him like getting into my there's a load of like Easter eggs that I've written in there that's funny, like my passwords, like I love my wife and stuff like that. I love my wife 69, and you know what I mean, just funny stuff. And then it goes back to the stream after he's got in, and it actually uses a cph dot I can't remember. It just uses one of them commands, and it looks like it types it out to change the source. And then it goes back to the stream, and I put the just a shader filter on to make it look like it's in the Matrix, and then it hacks off again, and then it looks like I'm trying to hack back in. It's quite funny. You'll have to see it next time. But
I'm
that's
sure
one
I
of my
will.
favorites I've done recently.
And it is. I think you're right there about the recent stuff, because I don't know if you saw my tweet today,
No.
but I used a code pen, and
Ooh.
with the help of KK, I built this animation where it brings a Game Boy in. The cartridge comes out with a picture that, or whatever you're currently playing, and then it'll come back in with a new game. For when you change game on Twitch.
Love that.
And that's what it does. It gets the old game out and puts the new game in.
Love that. Love that.
And it's just using.
That's the kind of things that I always love, like the attention to detail. Do you know what I mean? Like a little thing like that. It's going to be on screen for about 5 seconds, but it's going to look amazing.
And it's just using a code pen, because I love using code pens, because for the end user, it's just adding a browser source.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. Just add a browser source. I don't need to worry about making OBS stuff. I don't need to worry about making sure they've got all the right plugins. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. It's just done with the browser, done with WebSockets, so they need very little in Streamerbot. And it's really cool.
I do love that kind of stuff. Like Chad got me into looking at code pens, and it was, again, it's another rabbit hole I want to go down into, do some videos about it. Do you know what I mean?
Don't go down it.
That many things, I know.
Oh, I joke, but JavaScript, because there's JavaScript, there's TypeScript, there's jQuery, there's about 400 different versions of JavaScript. And it's like, oh God, just tell me one language. Let me learn one language.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I do love doing the stuff in OBS, because I kind of want to appeal to the people that actually want to take this stuff further. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, because I did a tweet recently about, I watched a streamer for like an hour, one of the top streamers for an hour, and I was just like, oh my days. Like, there's nothing on the stream at all. There's no interactivity. There's no even just talking to chat. There's like nothing. Do you know what I mean? To make it special. And Yeah, just it's not good.
I mean, my streams normally don't have that high level interaction, and I have an excuse. It's because I'm building stuff all the time that I just turn stuff off.
Don't steal my excuse, TD. Don't steal my excuse, mate.
You know what I say? You know, I've got a saying: "Do as I say, not as I do."
It's, are you just turning into me then now, or what? What's that? Are you gonna come underneath
I'm here all
the
week.
jumper there? You've got a flowery shirt on, haven't you? Oh God.
I mean, I say you. For me, you built some really. I remember. I know we were talked about this about the time I got you. I remember you building that in Leo on board, and that was something really cool you built. You built some really cool stuff, and I think if it weren't for the stuff you built, that baseline, I don't think I'd have built the stuff I'd built. I mean, I use your noughts and crosses as a baseline to build the Connect 4.
Yeah. It just makes you think. I think it's nothing special about what I've done. It's just having a reference that allows you to go, oh, that's what that does, or oh, okay, so I can use this command, or do you know what I mean? It's nothing like I'm not creating anything special because when I was creating noughts and crosses, the amount of times I spoke to Exceldro, I was like, Exceldro, I don't understand this logic, man. I understand what I'm trying to do, and I'll even write it down into a term that looks like code. But it's just you're not using the correct variable or something like that, and it's causing a problem. And when you've got something that you know works, and you're like, oh, I can go back to my reference material and be like, oh, how would I compare this to this, or something like that, and then you're like, oh, Andy did that in noughts and crosses to check for the winner, and you can just go to that reference and go, oh, I can use this in my own way, and that's how you learn, isn't it? That's how you've gone on this journey for learning C#.
I think the thing we yours not crosses that I really took from it was the how you'd queued up the players, because I think that was really clever. Because I'd have never done that. I'd have never worked that out. But you worked out this is it. This
Like when the next player is going to play.
yeah, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
kind of the base logic I use for that. And checking for the wins were pain was just a pain because there's so many lines
yep.
in not so in. It's not like what was it 5 or 6 in thingy. You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 8.
Yeah.
8 lines.
Yeah.
I think it's
When
something
I
like
started building it, I'd like designed all the stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
In like original Leon board, absolutely no chance. Then you were like, "Yeah, I've done it." I'm like, "You an idiot."
I know. It was something like 69 lines. I think I had to check. I think that's how many there is. Something like 69.
And when Leon board 1 on me shows you about 4 lines in a space that big. No.
It was a nightmare. But I think what's for me going back to what makes it really cool is it's so simple to share stuff. So I know we have the extension site now, which is full of stuff, but that's what's made it a real community for me. The fact that it's so easy to share stuff, like you don't have to worry about having all these boards or stuff like that. I think Sammy now does it slightly differently to what he did in Leon Board 1, but just taking an import code, importing it, it's a 2-second job.
Yeah, and the thing is, with stuff like that, that's why, like, when we created StreamUp, it was just we wanted to appeal a little bit more to the end user of that, where it's just like run this install file and it'll do it, like just let it crack on and do its thing. But again, it's like in all the communities, the Streamerbot community, Sammy community, StreamUp, it's just everything is like 9 times out of 10 completely free.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to be. If you want to support the creators of that or whatever, then go. Everybody there knows how to support a creator. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't need to explain it. So that's why I think it's always nice that we're in these communities where we don't mind helping each other out. It's so good, so good.
And I think, like I said, being able to put everything in a place that people can do means they can get what they need, and
Yeah.
it just helps, especially for new users, that they can see there's a place that they can get stuff. It just, but what I want to know, let's get back. Let me try to get back on track because I'm waffling. I think I messaged you about the extension site when it was first getting going, but I don't know if you've actually looked at it recently or like that. But have you seen on there or know of what that's being built in Streamerbot that you think that's really cool?
There's been quite a few things. I'm gonna just whip it up now, actually, because I need a refresher, if that's all right. So, because here it is. Whoa! I just nearly loaded up not the correct website. Why is it not in my history? That's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Never looked at it before. Don't care.
Nah,
The
it's because I
outed.
probably looked at my laptop, babes. So I'm sure there was one thing, because obviously one thing that I was wanting to look at was like the heat map stuff, because I had a couple of ideas for that, and I was just a bit like, right, and what can I make with that? And got a little bit, yeah, a bit out there. But a lot of the stuff, I don't know. There's just a lot of really useful things in there, isn't there? I mean, there was a few things that I looked at. There was one that I downloaded. I can't remember what it was. But it was, I think it was before the extension site came up. Oh God.
I
And it was
mean,
just one of them. Oh well, obviously the point system, that's incredible.
yeah.
Which I've not managed to implement yet because, well, you know me, I'm just always doing something that I shouldn't be doing.
I mean, I love the point system. I was able to create so much stuff off the point system that it's just been like easy. Like, oh yeah, I met this, I met this, I met this.
Yep.
I mean, one thing you did like, and you made a video on it, was the YouTube vid thing.
Yes.
You
Which,
know,
to be fair, I need to do more videos on a lot of this sort of stuff again, but it's time, isn't it? That's where time is.
and it's the C# compiler that means you can do so much with it. You know,
Yeah.
like integrate it with games, Minecraft or whatever, synth riders and stuff like that. You can just integrate it in, and it makes things super easy and super cool, and takes your stream level from like here up to ceiling. It's like
Yeah, and
like
it's easy, isn't it?
yeah.
It's there, ready to go. Oh shit! Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
The missus. I just, she's heavily pregnant. I gotta make sure she's Gucci. Just 1 sec.
There you go.
Sorry about that. My wife got in a bit of a sticky situation, bless her, but she's all right.
She's all right. As long as she's all right, that's all we.
Exactly. I mean, if it were my stream, I would have left her. You know what I mean? JK.
You be re. Get up. Push it off. Walk it off, lass. Walk it off.
You be right. That's the northern way.
Yeah, you be right. Just walk it off. Don't worry about it. So we were talking about before, you decided to do one. How easy Streamerbot is to work with other things. And we've got even though these are not native to the bot, we can get Streamerbot to post to Twitter. We can now get it to connect with Spotify. We can now get it with games and stuff. And there's so many.
Yeah, even does like Polypop, all that jazz.
And it connects. It does connect to both. It does connect to OBS and the other one.
Sorry, what one?
The other one. There's OBS, and then there's the other one. We don't say that word here.
You want to say it?
We don't say that word here. It's best.
Oh, Bongo just said it.
Oh, Bongo. It's best when people come into Discord and they ask for support and they go, "Oh, I'm trying to fix this," and they'll show pictures, and I'm like, "I know the fix. Don't use Streamlabs."
I don't remove programs. Let's go.
And I mean, I never do say that, but it is what I want to say.
Yeah, like I'll give it another 2 months, and then you'll be there in it,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
And now I don't deal with idiots now. I mean, it sounds awful, but it's like if someone's, I'll leave them
Did
to
you
other
hear
people.
that chat? TD says you're all idiots.
Idiots everywhere. I just don't have time. I don't have patience or time for people to ask.
So is that why you don't answer my DMs?
No, I don't. I completely just ignore your DMs.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, bloody hell, here's Dum Dum again.
DM from Andy, delete.
Unfollow, block. There we go.
We're not even friends. Why is he messaging me?
Yep. I just want my nudes back.
Ah, you're not getting them back. I'm on a deal with life.
Oh.
I send him one, he sends me 3.
Oh. Well, this has been a tangent, this one, hasn't it?
I know. Honestly, the amount of times we were talking about in Discord and we end up talking about life nudes. It's almost every time. Every time it tangents back to that.
It's because that's what you're all thinking about.
I don't know why. It just happens. Every time, yeah, life nudes. And life's just like... Life never says, oh, no, life's just like, all right, okay. It's just like, yeah, so what?
It's because he likes it like that.
It's just a bachelor.
Absolutely.
So, let's try and get back. So we know what you built. We know what the community's built, and you still use Streamerbot. But what things would you like to see in the future of Streamerbot? What do you think would make your life easier or the community's life easier?
Better if statements.
Yeah. I do. I think with the if statements, it'd be nice for me if instead of running an action, you could run a single sub action.
Yeah, or a group of sub actions.
I mean, people want dark mode, but I think that point's been well and truly made, as it were.
Yeah, dark mode. Just put some sunglasses on. Everything's dark mode then.
I know.
Life here.
I mean, for me now,
Stuff that I'd see, but it's always like in the moment. You know, when you're making something, you're like, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I could do this, or I wish that went there, and then I just 3 seconds later, yeah.
I think for me now it's Twitter. I want him to integrate Twitter because I built a Twitter thing and it changed and it was great. But Twitter's going to change the developer portal. So it's made all my setup completely different. And it's like, oh God, I can't give support. And I've got to try to explain to people what they kind of need to do. And it's like, I've no idea. I can't check. I've done it. It's a one-time thing. I can't do it. But generally, on the Streamerbot side, I just think certain things being more user-friendly would be nice. As I said, you know, I understand it's a time issue, and I keep trying to correct people when they say, oh, the Streamerbot devs. There's no devs. There's not a plural here. It's a singular. It's one guy who does it when he has time. Because that's life.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that, but...
So this is actually a video that I've got coming up. I do a big rant about OBS 28 mainly, but it like ties into like all this sort of stuff. Like with Streamerbot, everyone's like, oh, why is this not working for it? I'm like, because I've not updated it yet. Why ain't you updated it yet? I'm like, because you're not paying me to make that. Like, you know what I mean? It's nice to do when I get around to doing something. And that's exactly what Streamerbot is. And like people just take that for granted, and it's just so wrong that you do that. And I've basically done a video where I'm just ranting about everyone's complaining about OBS 28 not working, and there's content creators saying, don't upgrade to OBS 28, don't do this, don't do that, all this other stuff. And I'm just like, no. Like, it's not about that. Again, one thing might work for somebody, another thing might not work for others. Just try it, see how it goes. And like people just like, it's like shepherding almost. Like everyone just seems to follow the pack leader. And then when something's not working correctly, they're just like, right, you need to fix that. And it's just like, no. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah. It's not. It's like I said, I think we spoke about prior to stream, is that someone collared me about some ad built. I'm like, I've already built it, released it, it's had its testing period, and it's now out. You can't come to me and say, add this, because I've moved on now. I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but you somewhat have to tell people no.
But that's the thing, it's like, if you get paid for it, that'd be different. Because you get paid to do that, to like update that or something like that. But then when it's like this is one of the things that I'm smashing my head against the wall at the minute, is updating all this stream stuff. It's like these projects I did like over a year ago that I'm having to revisit, relearn because I've not done it in ages. Do it again, and I'm like I'm not getting paid for this. You know what I mean? It's difficult, but obviously when you've done something like Streamerbot, where it's like everything's on a website, you want to make it accessible, don't you? So it's my fault for doing that approach.
I mean, you do it the way suits you, really. Like you say, you're not getting paid for it. If people wanted to donate, they could, but
we don't have donations, so it's pretty rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, if someone came in to me and said, "Oh, here's X amount of bits for helping me out," something like that, next time they ask me, I would be slightly more inclined, because they've shown me a level of gratitude.
Yeah. No, I get that 100%. Like,
and it's like for you, I hung out in your streams and I learned from you, and from that we built a friendship. So if I got stuck and I asked you something for help, it weren't you get around to do it. You helped me. Yeah. Same with Waldo. If I messaged Waldo, within 3-5 business days,
isn't it? Like, that's a different approach. Like, you're not like you're not telling me to make something. You're asking for help to create something. Like, that's different than, do you know what I mean? That's a completely different question, where that one's way more like, that's how you bond with somebody, isn't it? You talk about the things that you love together, and then if it revolves around you actually creating something, that, yeah, even better. It's just the people that come in and just like, right, make this, update this.
I mean, it's like say, but the base idea is that I was able to build a relationship with you, and we were able to do that. We built a friendship. We did what we needed to do, and when it came to now helping each other out, we can do that. Same way, like if I ask Bongo needs my help, it's a to and fro, because we built a friendship. You're more inclined, but
exactly
randomers saying do this, it's like, nah.
It's like when they come into the stream and don't even say hello. They're just like, this don't work. How do I fix it? You're just like, oh, first time chatter. Hello. How you doing? Thanks. I'm not a piece of meat.
Have you tried this? No. Go try that. It's like we say, especially like going back to the extension wiki, we do a big write-up on how to install it. And generally, there's a lot of work put into each of them write-ups. And when you say, "Well, did you do this?" No. Well, you ain't followed the instructions.
Oh yeah, that's always the main one as well, isn't it? Like, so did you actually follow the video? Like, yeah. So did you do step 3? No. Well, you didn't follow it then, did you? Every
Tell me I
time.
watched the video without telling me I watched the video. It's baffling.
It is.
It's
But this
the
is
worst
that
one for me.
that I was saying. Like, people want everything for nothing, or they just want everything to just work. Do you know what I mean? And it don't work like that.
No, it's like for me the worst one was Twitter. People, because there were so many steps in Twitter. You needed to make sure you had the elevated access. You have to make sure you had this. People were saying it don't update when I go live. Have you tied it to the OBS event? Didn't know I had to. Like, it says it there.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Let's stop being negative now, TD. Stop being negative.
It's best. The best one though, honestly, the best one is when people say to you, "It don't say that," and you can get a screenshot and send it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it does, doesn't it?
It does. That's what it says. Oh yeah.
I know it says it because I fucking wrote it.
Just, I'm on, but I generally don't mind helping people,
Yeah.
and I don't mind building stuff. But because it's free,
as long as they
I'm
have,
allowed
like,
to moan.
banter and like they treat me with respect, like I'm all down with. Like Bongo, me and Bongo are about best friends, even though he's in chat now being a dick. I love him.
Oh yeah, I wind up bongo all the time.
I mean, it's not hard, is it?
No. It bites so easy.
He does.
But when he gets his graphics card and it's some tiles, he'll be all right.
To get him sent back to B&Q, mate.
I know. It'll be some potatoes, won't it? They can go with his potato PC.
I will end you both. We only play with you because we love you.
I know. It's all in good fun. Apart from when it's not and we're being serious. But
Which is all the time.
yeah. There is a part of me that really wants him to get tiles. That's so bad.
Yeah. Oh, man, don't. Oh, yeah. Like 20 festivals just chilling in a box.
He'll do an unboxing video, won't he? He'll let me unbox this for the first time. Oh shit, it's tiles.
Oh, please do not box him, Bongo.
Show us the tiles. I mean, going back to Streamerbot, because otherwise we'll be talking about Bongo all night. I mean, there's a lot, as you said, there's a lot you could suggest for Streamerbot. And it is an in the moment thing. It's oh, I want that, that'd be handy. But it's when you're coding something, and it's like I said on the day, what did I say? It'd be really handy if the pick colour could be randomised every time.
Oh, yeah.
And even though it can be coded, I think just being able to tick a box and say this is random, so every time it runs, it picks a new random colour, could build something cool with it. And it was just an in-the-moment thing that I thought of.
But I suppose, like, with all this stuff, like, they're all very, like, quality of life, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So they're all, like, when you're doing something, you're like, oh, yeah, that'd be easier if I could just press a button to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think this is where Streamerbot's been getting better and better as time's gone on because Nate has been adding these little things in constantly.
Yeah, I mean, Nate does add a lot of things. I mean, people think he don't read the Discord. He reads all the Discord. He reads all the suggestions.
Mhm.
But most of the time, he has to fix bugs because Twitch is Twitch.
Yep.
I mean, recently Twitch has changed a lot. You know, you got to think they're getting rid of the slash commands.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of. They've added the shout out. They've added the cheer things, haven't they? The new cheer coins and stuff, and the messages.
Yeah, yeah. Twitch seems to be just fixing stuff that isn't broke, whereas they should be just innovating and adding more things. But
Well,
that's Twitch.
So, that's Twitch.
But
And that's what we
because it causes devs like Nate having to go back like 10 steps because you can't physically keep making new things for your software if you're just fixing old shit. Like this works fine. My code works fine. It's just Twitch that have changed the back end. Like, what is the point?
Yeah. I think, like I say, at one point they changed with the predictions. I remember that causing an issue. And it was completely Twitch's fault.
Yeah.
And it's like they've completely changed it and it caused a rate bug. It meant if you did a prediction, nothing else worked. And it were a nightmare.
But then they don't really give
is-
you the tools either.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, we're changing this.
Yeah. I didn't even tell you.
I
You've just got to
told you.
find out. You've got to find out for yourself.
Why am I fiddling with personal?
I mean, they changed something before as well. And they had to fix it. And that's why we end up having these quick releases where we'll release like 1.8 and then 1.9 will come straight after.
Yep.
Because something's just been changed in Twitch's API and it's like it's annoying.
Yeah, it is really frustrating, but that's just how it is.
This last release has been a bit frustrating because for a lot of people it's 3 changes. You've had a new Streamerbot, you've had a new OBS, you've had a new WebSocket, and it's like a triple threat of updates.
Yeah, I'm hoping it just calms down a bit now because every time I seem to update all the stream up stuff or anything like that, it's just like 4 steps backwards. Here's another update on something that just breaks everything. I'm just like,
I can imagine it's like I had to change a few bits with the new OBS events and stuff like that, and it's frustrating, especially from a creator like me sort of point of view.
yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it is. Especially like the starting stream event, they've made that all one big event, and it's like, where's the logic in that?
Yeah.
You know, because starting stream and ending stream are 2 completely separate things. Why they made it one event? It just baffles me.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take the rough with the smooth and just gotta go with the flow, haven't you?
I mean, I stopped using it now. I just use my stream deck to start stream and end stream.
Yeah.
Because I can just run all the actions I want and run all the actions I don't want and whatever.
That's something that I need to start doing, adding some more Stream Deck stuff. I've only added a few things, like I've been upgrading my streaming setup because obviously you'll know we're not only streamers, we create other pieces of content as well. And like say you want to do editing in OBS, that looks completely different to streaming in OBS because you have different windows open when you're messing around with different bits, different docs open, so I have different profiles and everything like that. But I've been messing around with a Stream Deck recently, and now I've got like a prepare for stream, and it'll just place all the windows everywhere that I want. It'll open all the relevant applications to the correct screens, and then when I'm editing, I'll launch the editing one, and it'll open the same OBS but completely different. And do you know what I mean? Just trying to just make the process easier.
Make your life easier.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. I think that's what sort of puts people off, in my view, from bots like Streamerbot like Sammy is because they're not the easiest bots to work with when you start with.
No.
But when you get going, it's like, well, I've got my head around it now. It's fine. It's fine, and it's
it's like an industry where it's always moving. Though, like you can never be fully aware of everything that's going on because it's just moving that quickly. It can be overwhelming to people that are just starting, and that's something that I probably say to you guys in Streamerbot. Always remember that, like, you've got new people joining every day that have not been through this whole journey with you. Do you know what I mean? And like, we're obviously at the top end of the journey where we're like learning so much, and we've learned so much that is so overwhelming to the people that are just joining. And that's always just something to remember. Like, we were always there. And this is where you see like a lot of other creators, they kind of forget where they once was. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's the same thing where you're going on the streamerbot journey and stuff like that. So it's hard because you can't, like we always say, like it's difficult to help people that aren't helping themselves and stuff like that. But then you've also got to have that in the back of your mind of like, okay, I was there once.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely been there, especially when it came to coding. The general UI of Streamerbot, I kind of caught all right, but the coding stuff, it was like, okay, I know I'm going wrong here. I'm going wrong, and it's the learning curve, as we say. But as you say, you've got to want to learn.
Yeah.
And if the person don't want to learn, you're wasting your time because they're not going to learn. You're not going to learn.
Pretty much.
So, let's just go to the normal ending question then. Do you have questions for me?
I started the stream with a question to you.
Did you? that was well over an hour ago.
Because
that was well over an hour ago.
Like, TD's meant to be one to ask questions. Blah 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 blah.
You did. I do remember. I can't remember what you said the question was.
Probably something stupid. It was me, wasn't it? What are you working on next?
Next, oh god, I've got a few updates to do on a few things, but mainly going to be doing code pens.
Yeah.
Between JavaScript and code pens. So the idea is we're going to use Liblux's Spotify thing, and we're going to try create a catalog of code pens to work with it, so people can choose what design they want.
Nice.
That's the going goal.
Love
so
that.
Using
great
the Streamerbot WebSocket, sending out a thingy, so it sends out the title, sends out the artist, album art, the duration of the song, and all that's done up to the code pen, the JavaScript, and it does whatever it needs to do. Because you'll know yourself, if you design something, that design might not be for everyone.
Yeah.
So you've kind of got to say, okay, even though it fits your stream, it's not going to fit everybody's stream, and be able to give out multiple easy options is what I'm doing.
This is why I always do. You're having this one, that's it.
Yeah. But I'm also doing a lot on the wiki, trying to get, the extension wiki, trying to get as much stuff as I can on it and sort it all out, group everything to try future-proof it so we can have more stuff on it.
Yeah. Nah, it's looking good in there. You just keep that up. Because I need to definitely do some video. Oh my god. Do some videos on it. Some of the stuff, especially some of the stuff you made, like really handy. Like when I did the one about YouTube and stuff like that. If you have any highlights as well, I'd love you to send them over. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is one of my favorites that are in our community, and then I can probably do a video on it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the nicest programs I made, which I really like, is my log viewer.
Yeah.
So I wrote a code which triggered by a button, and it'll open up my log file. So I don't have to go into folders. I don't have to find it. It literally just opens a log file. Because when you're coding and you're building, checking the log file is how you test stuff,
Yep.
and it's a pain in the bottom trying to find it every time. So I've just been able to press a button, open up today's log file, neat as I like.
Yep. Love that. Love that.
And
See, that's the thing. Like, it's always nice to build things that help the process and everything like that. Like, I think that's the best thing. Yeah, it's something that you've really got to always remember. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to create something like that, but that's going to save you so much more time further down the line, isn't it?
yeah, it literally just something I thought I'm gonna have to, I can build this, and it's just it was just building something to solve a problem at that time.
You ever just tried watching it live using like PowerShell or something like that?
Well, I use Notepad++,
Oh,
and that's got a monitoring feature.
ah,
So like the little eye that's on top, there's a monitoring feature, and that updates live.
nice. Yeah,
So
I
using Notepad++
showed me
is
how to
handy.
use PowerShell, so I started using that.
Yeah, I just use the monitoring feature on the Visual Studio Code as well. That updates in real time.
Does it?
Yeah.
I know I do use Visual Studio, but I've never tried
Yeah,
that. I
it
don't know
updates
why I
in
haven't.
it opens real time. So yeah, I use Notepad++ because it has that JSON viewer as
Oh
well, which is handy. Which I think is something I learned from you.
yeah. I did a video about that, didn't I?
And I think that's what I learned from you.
That's probably why you want to change it, mate. Because if I've taught you that, it's probably wrong.
Especially when trying to view global variables, like thinking, what's changing? What's this? What's this?
just all
But,
broken.
well, this has been an absolute pleasure, mate.
It has, dude. I wish I would have brought more
had
beer
really
along to the table.
I know. Could we got you really drunk?
Oh,
And just could just ask you all sorts of questions.
oh. Save that.
Would it change it to like? We'll change that from like the Streamerbot podcast to the What Happened with Waldo podcast.
the after hours.
I mean, but yeah, I've really enjoyed this.
No, it was good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so I will probably see you when you're next streaming
Tomorrow. I try and do every day.
tomorrow. So for those who don't know Andy, remember he does have a lot of stuff going on. I do have a button for it. This one.
Oh,
Because you've just started a new YouTube channel, haven't you?
I have.
As well. So we'll let's get that link in chat. And I'll make sure I put them in the video description on YouTube.
Thanks, babes.
It's so slow. It'll come eventually. But yeah. So your new YouTube, it's about smart homes, isn't it?
Yeah.
All smart home stuff. Yeah.
Just so
it's nice.
A little bit different to take my mind off of OBS for once.
Yeah. I mean, that's something similar to Bongo. Bongo has his gaming and YouTube streams, but he also does his TikTok, which is cricket, which is something really different. And it's nice that you are
stay varied, because then you won't get any of this burnout stuff or anything like that, because you'll be doing so many different things that if you get tired of one, get on the next one. And that's why I'm a musician as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get bored of it all, I just record some music.
Well then, coolio. So, I will see you when I see you.
Yes, you will, babes.
Everybody say bye to Andy.
Okay, love you all. Put your rocket for the stone. There we go.
Oh, my stream deck's being slow.
Is it? Why is Bongo being nasty? Love you,
know.
Jesus.
There you go. And he's gone. Everybody, thank you for watching. I will keep you up to date on Twitter who the next guest is, because that's a top secret. I haven't revealed yet because I don't know. And I will see you all soon. Right, let me just stop.